Photosynthesis is the conversion of light energy into food energy. Now, we'll start with a little bit of an overview of types of organisms based on where their food energy comes from. Autotroph means self-feeding. These are organisms that are capable of producing food energy by converting energy from a non-food source. If the non-food source is light, then we're dealing with photoautotrophs. They use photosynthesis. Plants, algae, cyanobacteria. Chemoautotrophs use chemosynthesis, and some bacteria are capable of doing that. Rather than sunlight, they'll split inorganic molecules and use that energy to produce food. Now, of course, in plants, we have the chloroplasts, and the chloroplasts contain the green pigment chlorophyll. It is a photosynthetic pigment. Chloroplasts are arranged into grana and stroma. The grana is where the chlorophyll is, and the stroma is the space around where the chlorophyll is packaged. Now, in the previous topic of cellular respiration, we had a summary equation, and we've got another one right here. So an overview of photosynthesis is there. Now, we need a carbon source to produce food, and that carbon source is carbon dioxide. We need an energy source, and that's from light. So we take carbon dioxide and water, and using light energy, we produce sugar, glucose, and oxygen is given off. Now, there are two major steps in photosynthesis, the light reactions and the Calvin cycle. As the name implies, the light reactions require light. Chlorophyll absorbs light, and that transfers the energy to ATP and a coenzyme called NADPH. Oxygen is produced in the light reactions. Now, the energy that is used in the light reactions, produced in the light reactions, go into the Calvin cycle. The Calvin cycle takes the energy from ATP and NADPH to convert carbon dioxide into sugar. We call this carbon fixation, a conversion of carbon from an otherwise useless form to a biologically useful form. Now, light is electromagnetic energy, and to use light energy, you got to absorb it in order to convert it. Here we have the electromagnetic spectrum going from the high energy short wavelengths to the long wavelength low energy. So we got gamma rays, X-rays, ultraviolet, visible light, infrared, microwaves, and radio waves. Now, of course, visible light is the electromagnetic spectrum that we can see. White light is a mixture of the colors that can be viewed in a rainbow. So we have violet, blue, green, yellow, orange, red, or written backwards at the acronym ROY G BIV. Now, when it comes to chlorophyll, chlorophyll is green because the green wavelengths are reflected. What you see is what wavelengths are reflected back toward your eyes. So white light hits these pigments. Some of the wavelengths are absorbed, some of the wavelengths are reflected. So chlorophyll is green for the same reason this ink is green. It reflects green and absorbs everything else. Now, it's what's absorbed that counts when it comes to photosynthesis. So that means the violets and the blues and the yellow, orange, and red gets absorbed, and that's the energy that is used to convert carbon dioxide to sugar. Now, once the sugar is produced, some of it's going to get used by the plant, and of course, the rest of it gets converted into other compounds, such as sugars, starches, cellulose, lipids, proteins, nucleic acids. All of the organic material that makes up the biomass of a plant ultimately comes from fixed carbon dioxide. And this is an overview of photosynthesis.